Continued reaction on the breaking news revealed in that Graham-Grassley memo released tonight. Let's go right to the man in the middle of this storm, House Intel Committee Chair Devin Nunes. Congressman, your reaction to what we saw tonight?
It is a vindication of what we've been dealing with for the last 5 days, where we have been scolded that the dossier really played no part at all in the FISA application. So clearly that's not the case, as people are beginning to find out. And, you know, sadly, the mainstream media continues to ignore this. Even tonight I was looking, no one's covering this.
Well, it's amazing that the Democrats, who were so hot on exposing corruption in law enforcement all across this country, now it's like the FBI can do no wrong. As long as the ultimate goal is the removal of Donald Trump, you can never question them. If you do question them, you're the bad guy. What has it been like for you personally to be at the center of this? Because you've been in this meat grinder in the media. I'm kind of used to it, but I mean, you really got thrown into it as the House Intel Committee Chair.
Well, the good thing is that knowing what happened earlier last year when we exposed the unmaskings that had occurred and watching how they operated during that time period, I knew as we kept building up to this by all the same people who were attacking me that we had the story nailed, that we were 100% right. And so it made it easy. So, you know, I said the other night that it's actually enjoyable because you just know that you've got the story.
I always like it when the critics come after you. I always wear it as a badge of honor, especially certain critics like this. Watch.
Is it possible that the Republican chairman of the House Intel Committee has been compromised by the Russians? Is it possible that they actually have a Russian agent running the House Intel Committee on the Republican side?
I hope that's not the case, and I certainly have no information to suggest that it is. I think that
doesn't his behavior speak of that, though? I mean, I'm not the first person who's raised this.
Mark Halperin's former writing buddy. So what about these outrageous allegations? Because you're getting hotter and hotter and hotter to the truth. You're getting closer and closer and closer.
Right.
And they're turning up the heat on you as you're getting closer to the truth about what happened in this election.
And it's scary that people actually would watch that and then believe it, right? I mean, we've been Republicans for a long time, especially on the House Intelligence Committee. We were begging the Obama administration to do something about the Russia problem, and they ignored us. I even said it was the largest intelligence failure since 9/11, our failure to understand Putin. And yet the mainstream media doesn't care. You would think they would actually call out some of these guys who say this stuff, but they don't. The facts don't get in the way, because I just think they do not want this president to be successful, and they don't want Republicans to be successful, and they have one goal in mind, and that is power. They just want Republicans removed from the House of Representatives.
By any means necessary?
By any means. I mean, look what they did. I mean, it really appears like with political dirt being moved from a campaign, being developed and paid for by a campaign, funneled right into the FBI to open up an investigation into the other campaign, into the Trump campaign, and then to spy on someone is something I would never have imagined. This is where I knew about a year ago, well, about last March timeframe, that the dossier was used in some form or fashion. But even at that time, I thought to myself, really,
has to be a minor thing.
Couldn't have been that crazy, and it ends up they were really that crazy.
What about bringing back Comey, McCabe, perhaps members of the State Department, with what we learned tonight, and their involvement in filing for this FISA application, knowing what they knew about Christopher Steele, even in the subsequent applications? He was unreliable. He had basically admitted as such that he was getting subsourced information, including from throughout the process through Clinton associates. Are you going to bring people back?
Yeah. So phase one of the investigation was FISA abuse. Okay, and we closed that out in terms of what we think members needed to know. We're moving on to the State Department and irregularities there. The next phase will be looking at all the cast of characters and then conducting those interviews.
State Department thus far, what can you tell us?
I can just tell you that the State Department was gathering information and then passing it to very strange places that should not have happened.
The Obama State Department.
The Obama State Department. I will just say that there were comments over the weekend from people within the State Department that said John Kerry had been briefed on the dossier, that they had provided the new dossier, whatever this new dossier is, and they had provided it also to the FBI. So by people starting to talk about it, it seems to me like some people may be trying to distance themselves from the rest of the cast of characters.
Sidney Blumenthal, longtime Clinton confidant, he was trying to push Hillary in emails to, policy to dump Gaddafi. He had a lot of stuff going on in Libya himself. Cody Shearer, who is a longtime Clinton, hack, who goes way back to the mid-'90s when I was, covering all this stuff back then. There's a sense that those two were involved in putting information out there that got in the hands of Christopher Steele. Can you tell us anything about that?
Well, I will have to tell you that we've read a lot of the stories, but you have to wait until we decide how we're going to proceed with the investigation. I mean, there's several people involved.
Adam Schiff got punked. I think we have the call. I want to play it.
She got compromising materials on Trump after their short relations.
Okay. And what's the nature of the compromise?
Well, there were pictures of naked Trump.
Okay. And so Putin was made aware of the availability of the compromising material?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We will be back in touch with you through our staff to make arrangements to obtain these materials for our committee and for the FBI, and I appreciate you reaching out to us.
Congressman, it is not a good accent, Russian accent. I've lived there. It's not a bad. It's a bad accent. This is really funny. But
well, look, I think it's pretty clear now. You have the Clinton campaign who was getting information from the Russians, dirt on Trump, and now you know that the House Intelligence Committee Democrats were getting dirt or attempting to get dirt from Russians on Trump.
Well, he's like taking a random phone call of someone, like, hey, whatever you got, bring it to me.
Well, yeah, I can remember that way back, many of the Democrats on the committee have said that they have more than circumstantial evidence that there was collusion between Trump and the Russians. Maybe that was it.
Oh. You're very funny. Very funny. Who said Devin Nunes is not funny? He's a straight man, though. He delivers it straight. Thanks for being with us. It's always great to see you.